shit acting with you. I almost gave up. I ain't gonna lie. I almost gave up. I ain't gonna lie. Alright, man. So I guess this is continuance. Continuance. Bro, I almost gave up, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I almost cut the computer off and went to go lay down. Like, it ain't meant to be. But I guess it is meant to be. Let's get straight back to it. That shit was almost done, too.
How to find the right car for you. Go to cars.com. Look at the car you like.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Find your next sponsor.
And on this map, which we've talked about again in a few moments, you'll see the 478-305-9583, which I believe is evidence that's proven is associated with Hakeem Robinson, was used by Hakeem Robinson that day. But let's look at the calls. Where are they pinging off of? Between 10:17 a.m. and 11:05 a.m. Leroy Whitaker's 803-3671, as well as Abdul Jr.'s 624-3684, are pinging off the tower. And if you look at the sectors pointing back towards that red icon, 7001 Merrill Road, the scene of the murder. 478-305 number is also pinging off that same tower. Based on a data file, placing it at the scene of the murder at the same time as well. Next slide, again showing those same numbers between 11:30 a.m. and 11:51 a.m. So after the murder. And after that Nissan Altima crash. They're trying to get out. Leroy Whitaker's 803-3671. Being right around the area. Townsend Boulevard, 1033 Townsend. Got the time in advance record associated with it. And they show kind of how they intersect, that they're in those bands. Somewhere in there. And you see Townsend right above it. As well as the 478-305-9583 pinging off that tower. Just as if Hakeem Robinson using that phone were trying to get out at that time. And where is 624-3684? Abdul Robinson Jr. He is up higher on the map. Going back to he is up near the top by the 7001 Merrill Road. Also in that area, the Dalehurst Drive, where Torgon was living, where Abdul Robinson Jr. returned. Let's wait. And you also have the next slide, again showing Leroy Whitaker's 803-3671 number, Abdul Jr.'s 624-3684, as well as Abdul Jr.'s 478-491-2831 number, because he had two. And if you recall, those numbers he gave out on his Instagram account in messages. Both numbers. 904-624-3684, 478-491-2831. Gave them out, just like Leroy Whitaker did on his Instagram. And you can see where they're pinging.
doing trial no cam. My last trial I did with no cam. That's my last YouTube shit went crazy no cam. It was actually people are forgetting like trial we going no cam. I feel all about that shit. Definitely it's cause it's long, you know what I'm saying? Looking at the screen for hours, there's no way you're not gonna doze off.
4866
I'm not even high.
2370.
Alright, I'm high. But it feels like, you feel me? You feel me?
And this shows up, Ike Townsend,
It's the, you feel me?
if you remember, Leroy Whitaker and Dominique Barner held Miss Buckley there against her will in her own home about an hour or so. Murder happens a little before 11. Car flies, crashes, they run. So, shortly after noon, that's when Evan Robinson Sr. is showing up because it's after the phone calls from Leroy Whitaker to Abdul Jr., Hakeem's brother, cousin, Blue's other son, asking for help, sending the pin drop information to their station in Townsend, 1033 Townsend. That's when he's showing up to pick them up. And Abdul Jr. is pinging again back over near Dalehurst Drive. Leroy Whitaker. This phone record's put him again right there in Townsend by his Buckley home before he leaves after being picked up by Abdul Robinson Sr. Hakeem Robinson, two phone numbers. One, there's no dispute over, 904-704-1595. Second, the state suggests is 478-305-9583, so write them down. We're going to start with 704-1595. This is the phone whose account information is in his mother's name. And if you recall his sister, when she testified, she said, Dad, he did give, well, he's a pair of his sons. He did give them phones. But Abdul Robinson Sr. also told you that this number was in Hakeem Robinson's mother's name, and you'll see the subscriber information every Walters. This is his mom's name. This is his main number. The number that can be tracked back to him is in his mother's name. And so, stage 243 on that number, you see on December 28, 2019, a text message, I just got to Jacksonville. So he's back in town on December 28th. He was in town on December 11th as well because he filmed the Bank It Out music video. Maybe he left and went out of town after that. He was back by December 28th. You know what else happened on December 28th, 2019? Abdul Robinson Jr., Hakeem's brother, gets a text from Dominique Barner. What was it about? You could read it for yourself. But it mentions McCormick by name. Same day, Hakeem Robinson's back in town, and they're talking about McCormick. Let's look for a brief moment at Hakeem Robinson's 704-1595 phone, the phone that can be tracked back to him. Look at the activity and recall the testimony from the experts, especially in the early morning, 15, 20, 20. It's UTC time, so please remember you guys subtract 5 hours. 11:06, subtract 5 hours, and that's 6:06 a.m. My math's right. 6:06 a.m. It continues, and then line 42, 12:11. So 7:11 a.m. More activity. Next activity, not till 18:10, which is 1:10 p.m. So from 7:11 in the morning to 1:10 in the afternoon, this phone, his main phone, his phone that can be tracked back to him, the phone that some reason, for the next 6 hours, that phone, that known phone, is off. It's off. No activity, no calls, no data, no instant messages being received, nothing.
Life is busy, but you want to move up in your career with an accounting degree. Between long workdays and family responsibilities,
And then when you look at the logs, January 15, 2020, sometime between 5:55 a.m. and 1:10 p.m., power went off. If you remember the last activity, 7:11 a.m. and 1:10, 1:11, right after our power went off. Wonder why that is. Is it also the same reason you use a stolen car to commit a murder? Something that can't be tracked back to you? So let me make sure my known phone doesn't come back to me anytime either. Let's look at the two numbers, 478-305-9583, 478-491-2831. Again, Abdul Robinson Jr., his brother, through his records, admits to using 478-491-2831. Abdul Robinson Sr. said the other number belongs to Hakeem Robinson. And I got it for him. Put it on my account. I'm the authorized user. Look at the subscriber information for both numbers. What's the activation date for both numbers? November 12th, 2019. Same for both numbers. All under Darryl Watts, as Blue told you. That's the account he was using. Again, you don't have to like him. These records don't lie. Page 239 shows some contact or attempted contact between the two 478 area code numbers on January 15th, 2020. One at about 9:13, 9:16 in the morning, so before the murder. Around the time that they would have been stalking Charles McCormick at his apartment complex, because remember he signed in at 10:08 a.m., so that's beforehand. And they're in two different cars. And then after 16:54, which is 11:54, 11:55, shortly after the murder, so when Hakeem Robinson needs help, some attempted contact between the two numbers. Not phone a friend, phone a brother. States 240. Again, 904-866-2370, Abdul Robinson Sr., Blue's identified number. He admitted it. You had the cell phone exam showing that it's his phone, showing the cell phone location. When he shows up at Townsend, where he was coming from, you had the video showing that red-orange Dodge Challenger showing up. And what is this? A selfie photo that was taken of him, and he sent it to 478-305-9583. He's not sending himself a photo of himself. He sends that to both 478 area code numbers. Hakeem Robinson and Abdul Jr. Looking at his outfit. Sends it to both of them. He's not using 478-305-9583. His son. Going back maps for 624-3684 and 702-918-4911. If you recall, that's Dominique Barner's number. And what does Barner tell you? I call Abdul Jr. at around 4:40, 4:45 a.m., let him know Charles McCormick is back. You have the cell records. It confirms that Dominique Barner was communicating with Abdul Robinson Jr. on his 624-3684 number around that time. Look at the records. From the FBI, in Eastern Standard Time, 4:44 a.m., 4:45, 5:01, 5:26. Those are calls between Dominique Warner and Abdul Robinson Jr. And then where does the map place those two devices? Warner in green is down by 3830 University Boulevard, where he was living. This is between 4:42 a.m. and 5:26 a.m. Abdul Robinson Jr. up there near Brown Jersey Court. And then it travels down Dominique Barner's address. Dominique Barner told you what happened. These records corroborate. Don't have to like you. But again, that doesn't mean he's not telling you the truth. The next slide shows both of Abdul Robinson Jr.'s phones, the 624-3684 and the 478 area code number, being in the same area. 5201 Atlantic Boulevard, where Charles McCormick lived, over off Atlantic. What did Barner say? We all went over there. Next slide shows how the 478-305-9583 number that was using data and was pinging initially over there by Merrill Road at the time of the murder, then begins to travel south. Also in that same area at the time was Leroy Whitaker's number and Abdul Robinson Jr. The next slide shows how 478-305-9583, that device traveling from Merrill down to the area of Townsend, right where Dominique Barner told you Hakeem Robinson was, because he was with him and Leroy Whitaker, before it then begins to travel south again. And keep in mind, he's on the foot. He's still trying to get away. And he goes west down through the residential neighborhood where there's a nature preserve. And that's the location that he's allowed to traverse that takes him out to Arlington Expressway, where he then gets his ride. Page 242, this is that preview location of in that area of Lone Star Road that was deleted off of Abdul Robinson Jr.'s cell phone. How do you erase maps? Remember that search? You got a little thumbnail that saving cache. And couldn't delete. That he received from Hakeem's 478-305-9583 number in that area as he's trying to get the location where he can get picked up. It's that nature preserve, stage 248, where Miss Gant took then Detective Smith to that apartment complex and said, "This is where I think it's not." The defense would like you to believe that she was coached, told what to say.
And Max Verstappen wins!
The Honorable Podium Series, engineered for exceptional results.
Hiya, it's Hannah. Glad you could stop by the Arco Rewards Center.
If Miss Gant were just rehearsing a story, she'd given more details. You didn't even remember what Hakeem Robinson was wearing. That's easy. Not with these anymore. Not with Oregon anymore. But I remember text note. It's uploaded to that iCloud account almost immediately after that photograph is taken. His iCloud. January 6th. Hakeem Robinson, Leroy Whitaker, cousins. January 9th, a selfie of Hakeem Robinson. January 14th, day before the murder. Having a good time. Talk on this, I'll be brief here. Stage 177. This is just a photograph of that apartment complex in Arlington Express.
Offensive expert, desperate snitches. But you can't buy your way past.
All right, this Ksoo closing argument. Mind you, man, it's gonna take some time to get through this, but we're gonna get through it though.
Truth, and the truth is, to quote Hakeem Robinson's sister, Blue's daughter, hell no, this is not the guy in the video. Let me walk you through some maps to explain what happened that day. Mike, if you would. So on January 15, 2020, Charles McCormick was at 7001 Merrill Road. Over at the Publix, you had Officer Jimmy Collins. At around 11 o'clock, Charles McCormick is shot and killed. The killers jump inside of the vehicle and they flee. Now, Officer Collins was fast enough, and you can see it in the dash cam video, that his car is parked down near that yellow line. He sprints. He doesn't run. His words. He sprints, gets into his cruiser, and gets behind that vehicle. And then there's a pursuit. They go out into Merrill Road, turn south, go all the way down to Townsend. Now, the first mark is where the car accident happens. A car crashes, 3 people jump out. 2 of them run south to Barbara Buckley's house. The focus for us here, in our argument, is the one that Officer Collins says runs westbound. Now, you heard some testimony. Officer Graham took the stand and talked to you about how he was in the area of Carlotta, saw somebody running westbound. Then, you also heard from Renata Boston, who lived at 7201 Arlington Expressway. That was also a person that ran westbound. Now, an opening statement, which feels like months ago, Ms. Kawas got up here and said, watch what the government's going to do. They're going to tailor their evidence. They're not going to give it all to you. When you trust the facts of your case and you believe that the facts of your case are going to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, you don't tailor it. You give it to the jury. As a government, you give it to the jury and let the jury decide. But that's not what we saw. Victor Kruger, he was back. He was in his vehicle. Dash cam. Eerily, music comes on when the shooting starts. He took the stand. The government didn't ask him for the description of the shooter. They left that out. I had to pull it out of him. I shouldn't have to do that as a defense, to pull it out of him, that what he saw was somebody that was very slight. Don't let this government get up here in their rebuttal and not answer the question to you why they didn't give that to you. Why are they tailoring it and giving you only the things that fit their case, but not those that are against it? Now, that applied to the witnesses as well, too. Jarvis Roberts, admittedly, he's far away, but he's a witness. Why did we have to call him? Jarvis, working at Hibbett Sports, is at his vehicle. It's only a couple of seconds. And he sees somebody and he describes it. It doesn't fit their case. They choose not to call that witness. I agree, they don't have to call everybody. But there's a handful of eyewitnesses. His testimony took minutes. Why did we have to call it? Don't let them get up here and not answer that question. Instead, they want to focus and get into a back and forth with Mr. Roberts that he was maybe 5 yards further away than he said. Was it 25? Was it 30 yards? Meanwhile, they're overlooking the inches and pounds discrepancy in between the descriptions in their case. Now, the reason why we're bringing the defense, we shouldn't have to, bringing all these witnesses to you, is for one simple thing. A dozen people, including police officers, are not going to consistently get it wrong. 12 people would have to be wrong, but consistent. Not tall and stocky, short and skinny. That doesn't make sense. Also, us as human beings, we understand that if somebody's running, that's going to drop their height. If they're far away, it's going to drop their height. I don't think that the people that are in the back of the courtroom are 12 inches tall. I have depth perception. I have the ability to be able to say, it's at a distance. But there are some people, when you get up over 6 feet, when you get up over 200 pounds, not a lot of human beings are that size. And you can very
Bro, Ksoo was not 200 pounds around that time, bro. Stop it, gang. Stop it. Keep playing with these fucking people, taxpayer dollars and shit, and get fuck around and gave Scotty a murder. Like, y'all keep playing, these fucking lawyers keep playing this shit.
quickly determine that is not a normal sized human being. That is not a normal sized human being. Stand up.
And then they keep making Ksoo stand up. like the jury gonna be like, oh, look at him. They ain't doing nothing but making it worse, bro. Like, this shit happened 5 years ago. He not the same size, bro. Like, they keep making that poor young boy stand up and shit. How be too mad at my lawyer. Like, bro, I'm not standing up, Your Honor. No, I don't want to stand up, bro. Like, chill.
I'm a big guy. He makes me look
And look at Ksoo. Ksoo standing up too, all green and shit, acting like this helping him out.
small. Take a seat. So, talking about the witnesses that consistently, according to the government, get it wrong and describe somebody who's short and skinny. Michael Williams, military vet, undoubtedly has training in stressful situations. He gives a description that doesn't fit their case, so they don't call him. Maybe hoping that we won't call him. Why wouldn't they call him? His testimony was minutes. But he says stuff that goes against their case, consistent with everybody else. Next, we have Renata Boston. I'm sorry, I forgot somebody, and this one's important. Tashida Saunders. She was the one that was inside of the
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
Red Bull gives you wings.
the staffing place where Charles McCormick was right before. Now, anything that I'm saying here, I beg you, ask for the transcript. Fact check everything that I'm saying.
Yeah, sustained.
You've taken copious notes. I trust you remember the testimony, and you'll be able to fact check me in your own mind against the government. Tashida Saunders got up here, and the government questioned her. How tall is the shooter? Mr. Cooper then argued in his closing argument, taller than Charles McCormick. That is not what she said. We had to bring it out of her. Ms. Kawasa on cross-examination, 5'8", 5'9", skinny. It's as if the government is trying to blur the lines to increase the height of the shooter and decrease the height of my client because it's the only way they can bridge that gap. We shouldn't have to give you what is the truth of what the witnesses said. Tashida Saunders said 5'8", 5'9". Not because if you say taller than Charles McCormick, well, that could go all the way up. She put a cap on it. We shouldn't have to bring it up. Now, Renata Boston. Renata Boston was not upstairs and ran downstairs. She was sitting on a wall talking to her friends. She sees somebody come out of the woods. She also gives a description that we had to get out, which is consistent with everybody else, short and skinny, and also the same height that Tashida Saunders gave, which was 5'8" to 5'9". We shouldn't have to pull this information out. Your government should give you the objective facts and let you as the people decide. By tailoring it, they're not doing their job. Now let's talk about law enforcement. So let's talk about then Detective Collins. And let's contrast that with reasonable witnesses, objective witnesses. You remember earlier in the trial there was a couple of crime scene techs, the DNA people, the fingerprint people. That is objective evidence. Objective witnesses, when they testify, they answer the question straight. They're not trying to, find the answer. Contrast that with Officer Collins and also Officer Smith. Now, on Collins, we know, and we have the CAD notes. 5686, on his direct examination, the government got that out, that's his badge number. I'll zoom in here for you. He gives a description of 5'5" to 5'9". I don't buy it for a second that, I'm not sure. He could have just said, black male with this type sweatshirt running, unknown height. But he gave a description. Because the reason why you wouldn't do that, then if there's anybody tall, that's not the guy we're looking for. He gave the description that he had in that moment. He tried to be cagey. Compare him to how the texts were. We asked a question, the DNA expert. It could have gotten on there because of the t-shirt. Yes. Instead, him, from the very beginning of the cross-examination, he showed that he was motivated. When I asked him, and I go, you ran track and field, he paused because he knew that that was going to be bad for his testimony. I then asked him, you have to think about whether you ran track and field? And then he goes, well, that was years ago. I'm not saying he's as fast as he was. I'm just saying that he's faster than this guy. 6'4", long legs, former runner, fit as anything as he took the stand, and he wasn't given straight answers. Most importantly, we heard from Detective Smith, body cams. Where is Officer Collins' body cam that would have shown who he was chasing? At one point in his testimony, he talked about how recently he looked at the video and, he determined that he was wrong. People ask a question a lot on how wrongful convictions happen. That's how it happens. Because witnesses on the stand, Ms. Kawasa and I have lived this case for years. We know the facts. And when he testified to that, you probably saw us jump up and our faces go beet red.
Yeah, sustained.
You saw the evolution of his testimony. He did what we're saying that the government is trying to do. They're trying to increase the size of the shooter to fill that gap. But what he doesn't realize is where he thinks that he's growing of the shooter, it's actually his own nose like Pinocchio. Because his lies, his attempt to lie, actually prove our point. Now the government, they showed a very small photo. This is their exhibit focused in. There's your shooter. All right, you can see right above him a black line in a window. That's Officer Collins. Now, if you toggle back and forth, you'll see that the shadow of the two
Ignite the fairway.
With Fireball.
Jiminy Cricket, you don't even have a club in your hand.
is different. Now, I'm just pointing out a fact on what they didn't do. They talked about how there was a gradient at Renata Boston's home. What we don't know, and what we can't tell, is if that is perfectly flat, if there is a drop-off, even of an inch, from the driveway to the grass, and whether the grass is flat. I can assume the driveway is flat. But there may be a slight deviation. Now, in a case like this, an inch matters.
Hey, Ace, you better sue these lawyers, nigga. Get your goddamn money back, fool. They said his height was slightly different because there's a slant in the driveway. Bro, go ahead, boy. Go ahead, boy. Hey, boy, go ahead, boy. These lawyers ass, nigga. I never seen no lawyer such ass. You can tell the budget. Like, you can tell the budget. Ace really ain't getting no money. Well, he getting money because 50 is 50. But you can tell when niggas really getting that bread. Because that YSL shit was crazy. That A$AP Rocky shit was crazy. That nigga clearly had a gun in his hand waving it at that nigga. Still beat that bitch. P. Diddy beat a fucking Fed Rico, nigga. That money talk different. Them niggas paying millions for their lawyers. This nigga paid 50K. Hey, they did the case so quick. They said, bro, y'all only got 50K, only give y'all 20 days. So we gotta wrap this case up in 20 days. You can tell that they got a certain amount of days with these lawyers because they rushing the fuck out this case. I feel like if they should have kept his daddy on the stand for a little longer to pick his brain, they fucked up. This shit over with. That nigga, and Ace wrote on his Instagram, on his Twitter, he was like, he tagged Scotty and tagged Ksoo and said, y'all coming home real soon, and put a screenshot of the court. Shit, Ksoo fake still in the air, but Scotty, he's done.
But when you go back and forth between these two, it's important to notice that
You know what killed me about the street niggas and shit? I salute them because I got a couple niggas that's still in the street though, so I'm not knocking y'all. I'm not knocking y'all at all. But you know what get me? When they be like when they be like the feds don't want to see me shine, they on my ass, or the feds doing this to me. Nigga, you out this bitch wildin', my nigga. That's why they on your ass. Like, what the fuck? I can't stand when niggas be like that, like this, when just however they say it, when they be like the law on my ass, they all on my dick. Nigga, you hot, nigga. Like, what the fuck?
the shooter, and we'll talk about this in a moment, has something up underneath their hood.
Chill. Don't say it. Don't say no more. If it came a verdict, don't say shit. Oh, Ksoo found guilty of capital murder. Oh! All right, hold on. Let's hurry up and finish this. We gotta get into today. Hold on. All right, we gotta get into today. Hold on.
Latham testified that would add easily a couple of inches.
All right, let's lock in, man. We gotta hurry up and get to today.
Now, Officer Collins got up there and said that he's 6'4". He looked about that, maybe 6'3". Sometimes guys will exaggerate, round it up, round it down. When you compare the two and put them side by side, and I'll draw a line in here for the...
Wow, listen to Ksoo lawyer though. Wow, this gonna make sense. Brother, they gave that nigga capital murder. Imagine what they gonna do with Bibby, bro. Oh my God, he was a kid. But look, so keep this in perspective. We just found out that Ksoo just caught capital murder. He found guilty for capital murder. But let me tell you why. It's because of this nigga right here, this lawyer nigga. I'm telling you, they trash. You see YSL, $1 million lawyers. ASAP Rocky, that nigga had a gun in his hand on camera, still beat it. Did he beat the feds? Ace paid him for a $50,000 lawyer for a murder case. Ace. Nah, nah. He should have kept his money, gang.
Window, right? And then I'll also do it for the window on the other side. So that's our point of reference. Now, if we estimate where the top of the head of the shooter is.
Now listen to all this stupid shit this nigga saying. He just said, like, these one of the things this stupid ass nigga just said. He said, you know how like some driveways got a little slant in it? This nigga said the driveway's got a little slant in it, so his height altered by a couple inches. Bro, go ahead with that dumb shit, bro.
Because of what they have up underneath their head, that brings them roughly to the chin of Officer Collins. I don't know what the length of the average human head is from the top to the bottom, but I'm thinking it's at least 8 inches, 10 inches.
And then I know this shit gonna play in Ksoo head back to back when they kept telling him to stand up. Hey, if I'm the jury and I'm in the jury seat and the lawyer or the nigga on trial keep telling him to stand up, I'm gonna be looking at the picture like, man, that's him. Like they keep telling that boy to stand up.
They were hoping you wouldn't look at this closely, that he could just come in here and go, oh, I looked at this video years later, this very grainy, difficult to see video, and you want to know what? I was wrong. He was my height. That's preposterous, and the evidence shows that that is preposterous. Wow. We also heard from Officer Graham. We had to call him. They didn't. That's a police officer. Former police officer.
Hey, Ksoo ain't never coming home, nigga. Nigga know what capital murder is? Nigga got a cap. Nigga, he got the cap, nigga. He got the big cap, nigga. That's crazy. They ain't even give him a regular John, bro. They gave him the big dog. Like, they gave him the John as if he shot a police officer. Like, they hung. Like, God. I ain't know they was going for the cap. Like, whoa.
Had to bring him in. He's one of the 2 police officers that chased on foot the shooter. Unquestionably chased the shooter. Why are we calling that witness and why are they not? They're not calling the witness because of the height description that he gives. It conflicts with their case. It's consistent with all of the civilians that we brought in, all of the civilians that testified, and Collins. But the important thing is this, and any big guy knows this. There's no way a guy that's 6'2", 6'3", 230 is going to outrun a cadet that had just gone through the academy, that is going to outrun a former track runner. That's going to be, and remember what Graham said, he was jumping fences. He was fast. They were even in their cruiser for a moment trying to chase him. He was that fast. That ain't him. Again, quote his sister, hell no. What was Hakeem Robinson like then? The government wants you to, say, well, photos didn't need to be taken. Remember, we're the ones that brought in the photographs the day before. We're the ones that had to bring that in, and we also brought in Howell. But if we look, this is when the scan was done, the big piece of the government's evidence. You see the build on Hakeem Robinson. Now, there's little point of reference here. If you put him up to, next to Miss Quas, a normal-sized human being, he's huge. But even in this, you can tell he's got a belly. He is out of shape. He is not toned. And, Your Honor, I hope that I can quote what I did the other day when I said the shooter ain't got no ass. He does.
Nigga, the shooter was thick as hell. Fuck you talking about, twin? The shooter had an ass on him. Pause. Like, the shooter had a BBL on him. Like, there's no way out of that. Ksoo have one too. Like, it's just plain and simple. Like I said, pause. I really don't use them words, but we being direct with this one. The nigga was thick as hell, twin.
In the video that we had to enter in, from the JSO property room where they show, and it's in evidence, you can look at it, I'm not going to play it now.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
Entered into evidence as Defense Exhibit 3. He had to.
Okay, I'm going to sustain the objection.
You can review Defense Exhibit 3, our exhibit. It shows Sergeant Howell walk out. And Sergeant Howell's 6 feet tall, like 300 pounds at the time. And Hakeem Robinson's taller than him. But you'll notice something as he's walking. Now, admittedly, he's wearing slides and he's walking. But big guys know this. They waddle a little bit. You ever seen a linebacker? The way that they walk? It's not the same as somebody who is fit and who is fast like the shooter. And you can see he has sort of a duck waddle in the way that he walks. It's a product of having big legs and being a big guy. Now, so in our exhibit we brought forward, now the government had an issue. Because Renata Austin says the person that walked out of the woods had shoulder-length dreads. Now, the government, they showed you an exhibit when my client was getting a pedicure, not a couple days later, it was almost a week later, 5 days later. And they showed from an angle of down where the hair, and one could think that looks like hair that's down to the chin because of the perspective of it. Our exhibit, our videos, shows what his hair was like 18 hours before this crime that he's accused of. He had short hair. He did not have shoulder-length dreads. There's no question. He did not have, pardon me, he did not have shoulder-length dreads. He had short twists. The government, though, has tried to fix this. They brought in a photograph. Of all of the photographs on Hakeem Robinson's phone, there were thousands, over nearly 5,500 photos. They find photos of the hood. They only show you a few of them. They tailor it. But again, this supports our argument. Now first, before I get into this, you look at the music videos, you notice, your times out in public before, he's not the only one with hair. If you look at the different type hairstyles in Charles McCormick's music video, in Hakeem Robinson's music video, there's a lot of people that have long hair. But this proves a point if we jump into the details. You notice how Hakeem Robinson, because he has sort of a uniform hairstyle, that the back of the hood looks as if it's empty. Now, obviously, it's lifted up off his head, but the back, it's got just fabric. You compare that over to the shooter, that is a different head. That is a full hood. That is hair, that is something up underneath there. Not that hair. Those are not, I'll go back and forth, those are not the same heads. Mr. Cooper got up on his closing argument and he said, Hakeem Robinson is 6 feet. And again, we're talking about tailoring the evidence, trying to shrink Hakeem Robinson, trying to grow the shooter, trying to jam a square peg into a round hole. That is not what the evidence was. The evidence for his height from first Blue, are we to trust him or are we to not? Because he said 6'2", 6'3". Johnny Shipes, no motivation whatsoever, not in handcuffs, not looking at prison. He said, I'm 6 feet, he's a lot bigger than me, he doesn't even fit into my clothes. Latham got up on the stand. And that's not what Latham testified to. He goes, the government did not ask me to do a height assessment. He agreed that the poor posture, not measuring for height, was 6 feet and a quarter inch. But he also said that there is a error of margin, very small. And we talked about the black tape line. I asked him, and I go, how thick is that tape? And he goes, could be 1 inch, could be 2, could be 1.5 inches. Again, I wasn't asked to do a height assessment, and you can clearly see that Hakeem Robinson is taller than that. And then anybody knows, you get your height measured. When you go to the doctor's office, that little square is so small, so it forces you to put your feet together. You can get an accurate weight, you can get an accurate height. Again, they are trying to shrink Hakeem Robinson to fit. Stand up. You don't have to go based on that. You can look at him in this courtroom and make your own determination on the size of this man. Sorry, can we back up? And also the size of his feet.
Hey, like 10, 15 more minutes, I'm still here. I'm about to go on my front porch and smoke, but like in 10 more minutes.
You can make that determination on your own. And when you do that, let me take a seat. Go back and look at the tiny little feet on the shooter. Latham said.
Hey, my bad, Ksoo. Them people keep making you stand up like that, man.
He would have the ability to be able to figure out the length of things. You spent nearly $100K on that guy to get up here and say, yeah, maybe. You don't throw in a few more dollars to get an accurate measurement of that foot?
And Ksoo spent the 100K on y'all for y'all to do a half-ass job. I mean, Ace spent the 100K on y'all for y'all to do a full half-ass job. So what's the difference, gang?
Red Bull gives you wings.
Let's go now to Sergeant Smith. February 5th.
Okay. All right, thank you all. We'll be in recess. Okay, and on the 8th, you all are free to appear via Zoom. That's okay. Okay. Robinson, based on the verdict of the jury finding you guilty of the offense charged in the indictment in case number 2020 CF 3601, the court does hereby remand you to the custody of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and your bond in this matter shall be revoked. Now, he is entitled to a pre-sentence investigation report. Is that correct?
Ksoo up that bitch T. It's full T. Nigga, I know that nigga said. He just got that expression on his face like, fuck, I'm about to spend the rest of my life in this bitch, gang.
He's already committed on who it is. That's not an investigation. Literally days later, he sees an Instagram post. Now, what he says is, I screen recorded the Instagram post. We don't have the other Instagram stories to know what other things were out there. He just found one and he's like, this is enough. And he then commits to subpoena the meta records of my client. He had a print before that. We embrace that. That print was on that gun. It doesn't mean that he was ever inside of the car. And you know that he was in a music video holding all his buddies' guns. He was committed at that point in time. Print, post, he was done. His job was done. That's my case. But it wasn't enough. We got to build it a little bit more. Now let's compare this over to the other people that we know were involved. Varner, Butter, Blue, Abdul Sr., Abdul Jr., Torgon Williams, Natalie Bryan, Chris Brown. None of them posted anything. We use a phrase in these courtrooms every now and then, consciousness of guilt. That's consciousness of innocence. Smith, now Sergeant, did. He committed in everything. So they sit there and smirk at you. It's not. They can't carry that burden.
Alright, basically what the lawyer up there doing is pump faking. It's nothing really to get into this now that we know these man's guilty. So they pump faking. So we gonna still go to we still gonna go to Scotty John real quick and just look at a little bit of it. Just a little bit of it. Just a little bit of it. Let me see. Not too much of it, just because we already know what's up with these niggas. Let's find Scotty Jones. We're gonna listen to a little bit. You know, Scotty lawyer be wilding. You know, they try to say Scotty was in the car, but he didn't know what was going on. So I wanna see like really how she gonna close out, how she gonna start it off. Yeah, she that. What Scotty won that? What the fuck? I had him up here. Can't find Scotty shit. Hold on. It was just up here. Oh, here you go. Bitch says evidence is lacking when a nigga got caught in their house. Go ahead, bro.
That's what I said. You keep saying no two people have the same DNA.
Of his home. We know he didn't attempt to trace this gun in any kind of way. And most importantly, you know the biggest thing you didn't have? That's not a bit a little helpful. You didn't have an eyeglass or a phone. I just had a...
His lawyer bullshitting too, man. All right, let's just get into today, man. Fuck that shit. We gonna do Scotty Jones first since this shit happened first.
That the defendant committed the main crime. I thank you for your...
Alright, this Scotty one. We ain't in no rush for this one. We gonna take our time. This is today shit. So this Scotty one first. And we gonna get some opinions too. I know niggas doing opinion videos. So sorry for this though, man.
First, we're expecting more closing arguments from Robinson's counsel. Then the case will be in the jury's hands.
All right, thank you, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Courtroom 407. I do want to ask if during this overnight recess, leaving yesterday or arriving today, if anyone attempted to speak to you or say anything to you about this case or approach you in any way about this case. If so, please raise your hand. Okay, and for the record, I see no hands raised. Did anyone see, watch, listen to anything on television, newspaper, radio, or social media about this case? If so, please raise your hand. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So now both the state and the defense have rested their cases, and the attorneys have presented their final arguments to you. So I am now going to, I need for you to listen carefully to the instructions that I am about to give you, which I remind you, you are required to follow. For your convenience, the jury instructions are going to appear on the monitors before you, so you can easily follow along as I read them to you. And I will send in one hard copy of the instructions for your use during deliberations while you are in the jury room. So let's please be sure that the monitors are on and working. Yes? All right, very good. Let us begin. Members of the jury, let's see. I thank you for your attention during this trial. Please pay attention to the instructions I'm about to give you. Leroy Whitaker Jr. has been accused of the crimes of murder in the first degree and burglary with an assault or battery. In this case, Leroy Whitaker Jr. has been accused of first-degree murder. Murder in the first degree includes the lesser crimes of murder in the second degree and manslaughter, all of which are unlawful. I now instruct you on the circumstances that must be proved before Leroy Whitaker Jr. may be found guilty of murder in the first degree or any lesser included crime. As to count 1, to prove the crime of first-degree premeditated murder, the state must prove the following 3 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. Number 1, Charles McCormick Jr. is dead. Number 2, the death was caused by the criminal act of Leroy Whitaker Jr. or a principal. Number 3, there was a premeditated killing of Charles McCormick Jr. An act includes a series of related actions arising from and performed pursuant to a single design or purpose. Killing with premeditation is killing after consciously deciding to do so. The decision must be present in the mind at the time of the killing. The law does not fix the exact period of time that must pass between the formation of the premeditated intent to kill and the killing. The period of time must be long enough to allow reflection by the defendant. The premeditated intent to kill must be formed before the killing. The question of premeditation is a question of fact to be determined by you from the evidence. It will be sufficient proof of premeditation if the circumstances of the killing and the conduct of the accused convince you beyond a reasonable doubt of the existence of premeditation at the time of the killing. In considering the evidence, you should consider the possibility that although the evidence may not convince you that the defendant committed the main crime of which he is accused, there may be evidence that he committed other acts that would constitute a lesser included crime. Therefore, if you decide that the main accusation has not been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, you will next need to decide if the defendant is guilty of any lesser included crime. The lesser crimes indicated in the definition of first-degree murder are second-degree murder and manslaughter. As to count 1, to prove the lesser included crime of second-degree murder, the state must prove the following 3 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. Number 1, Charles McCormick Jr. is dead. Number 2, the death was caused by the criminal act of Leroy Whitaker Jr. or a principal. Number 3, there was an unlawful killing of Charles McCormick Jr. by an act imminently dangerous to another and demonstrating a depraved mind without regard for human life. An act includes a series of related actions arising from and performed pursuant to a single design or purpose. An act is imminently dangerous to another and demonstrating a depraved mind if it is an act or series of acts that, number 1, a person of ordinary judgment would know is reasonably certain to kill. Number 1, did the
Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends July 31st.
Skip the rental counter with Turo. Rent just about any car, just about anywhere.
The witness seemed to have an opportunity to see and know the things about of any testimony or in evaluating the importance of any. Back to you as soon as we can. One rule I have for all my trials, however, is I do not allow or otherwise see, read, watch.
Let me walk you through some maps to explain what happened that day. Mike, if you would. So on January 15th, 2020, Charles McCormick was at 7001 Merrill Road. Over at the Publix, you had officers. Let's talk about, I'll go back and forth. Now, that affected the truth of the witness's testimony.
I'm out of knowledge. Dominic Barner has given his life over to Judge Salvador in the state of Florida as an defense attorney.
Now you may do so, but once the instructions begin, I don't want people coming in or out that would cause a by an act imminently dangerous to another. The period of time must be long enough, 2 weeks, in an organized way, and that everyone has a fair. No, if jury. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that are looking things up about any bonds previously set shall now be revoked, and is advise you of some very. So, no emotional outbursts. I don't think I can be any more clear. All right, do you want to switch tables and have Mr. Whitaker and Ms. Schlax in the front table? All right. right, if both sides are ready, then let's bring in Mr. Whitaker's jury.
Jury's in the courtroom.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may take your seats. And juror number 3, you're fine, yes. Has this jury reached a verdict? Can you please hand the verdict form over to the bailiff? All right, the court finds that there are no errors or omissions in the filling out of the verdict forms. Madam Clerk, can you please publish each verdict?
In the Circuit Court of the 4th Judicial Circuit and for Florida, case number 16-2020, Division CRE, State of Florida versus Legal the best account. 1. We declare defendant guilty of first-degree murder at evidence of state laws at Jacksonville, Florida, South Florida, state dated July 1st, 2025. For best account 2, we declare defendant guilty of charging the indictment. We declare further find defendant guilty of battery during the course of burglary. So say we all done Jacksonville.
Does counsel for either the state or the defense desire the jury to be polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror number 1 is issued your correct verdict. Juror number 2 is issued your correct verdict. Juror number 2 is issued your correct verdict. Juror number 3 is issued your correct verdict. He's number 5. Sorry. Juror number 5 is issued your correct verdict. Juror number 6 is issued your correct verdict. Juror number 7 is issued your correct verdict. Juror number 8 is issued your correct verdict. Juror number 9 is issued your correct verdict. Juror number 10 is issued your correct verdict. Juror number 11 is issued your correct verdict. Juror number 12 is issued your correct verdict.
They talking low.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in that jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. And we have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and its votes should remain its private affair as long as you wish it. Therefore, the law gives you this unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are now at liberty to speak with anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, or from those who might seek to find fault with you, or from the media, or from the attorneys, or elsewhere. So it will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. And with the rendering of these verdicts, your service here in the Duval County Courthouse over these past 2 weeks is now concluded. And I wish to thank you again for answering your summons last Monday, coming down to the courthouse to be part of the administration of justice. All of my prior admonitions and prohibitions that I've imposed upon you about talking to people, about looking things up, about seeing, reading, or hearing anything in the news media or social media, those are all now lifted. You are free to do those things if you wish. But I wish to genuinely and sincerely thank you for your time, your attention, and your service, despite our fits and starts and sometimes delays that has allowed us to conclude this matter here with you today. So again, many, many thanks. I will let you go with the bailiff, where you will then be able to retrieve your electronic devices, your personal items, again with this court's sincerest thanks and appreciation for your service. You are now excused and free to go. All right, counsel, if you will present your client before the bench. right, Mr. Whitaker, based upon the verdicts of the jury finding you guilty of these 2 counts as charged in the indictment in case 2020 CF 3601, the court will now hereby remand you to the custody of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Any bonds previously set shall now be revoked.
Alright, he burned. Let's do Ksoo shit real quick, and that's it. I want to see when they're gonna do the other. When I think Bibby shit start tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
When the sawdust settles and the engine finally roars, the thing you care about.
Advise the jury has reached a verdict. Any reason we can't bring the jury out now and receive the verdict? All right, let's please bring the jury out. Thank you. All right, the court finds that there are no errors or omissions in the filling out of the verdict form. Madam Clerk, can you please publish the verdict?
In the Circuit of the 4th Judicial Circuit in and for Duval County, Florida, case number 16, 2020, CF 3601B, Division CRE. State of Florida versus Hakeem Robinson, verdict as to count 1, with the jury found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. So say we all.
Damn, the lawyer said, why are you doing that, bro? You know you lost. You know you're gonna lose, nigga. What the fuck?
All done, Jacksonville, Duval County, Florida, signed by the foreperson on July 31st, 2025.
Does counsel for either the state or defense desire the jury to be polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Madam Clerk, if you can please poll each juror.
Juror 1, is this your true and correct verdict? Juror 2, is this your true and correct verdict? Juror 3, is this your true and correct verdict? Juror 4, is this your true and correct verdict? Juror 5, is this your true and correct verdict? Juror 6, is this your true and correct verdict? Juror 7, this your true and correct verdict? Juror 8, this your true and correct verdict? Juror 9, this your true and correct verdict? Juror 10, this your true and correct verdict? Juror 11, this your true and correct verdict? Juror 12, this your true and correct verdict? Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and your consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges to be enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in that jury room deliberations. You are also at liberty to refuse to speak to any other to preserve your privacy as a juror. And with the rendering of this verdict, ladies and gentlemen, your service in this courtroom over the past 2 weeks is now concluded. And all of my prior admonitions and prohibitions against looking at the news or reading the newspaper, listening to the radio, again, you are out, your private, gentlemen, you are now excused and free to go. All right, Mr. Robinson, based on the verdict of the jury finding you guilty of the offense charged in the indictment in case number 2020 CF 3601, the court does hereby remand you to the custody of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and your bond in this matter shall be revoked. Now, he is entitled to a pre-sentence investigation report. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I will be sure to order one. Again, that takes approximately 30 days to complete, so we'll...
East. Hey, nah, it's crazy because Ace really had bro hype like he was coming home. Like he was asking bro what car you want to ride in, how much, like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do this. I guess he was just trying to keep his hopes up or something. Cause what the fuck?
need to come back for sentencing no earlier than 30 days. When would the parties...
Yeah, he said. Nah, it ain't funny though. Damn, Ksoo. This what happened to killers, man. Y'all want to be killers, even if you did it. If you didn't do it and you on internet bragging that you did it, but you gonna go to court and play like you didn't. Like, I understand you want to beat the charge, you want to rap about beating the murder, this and that, but bro, if you a killer, say it, nigga. Say it with your chest, nigga. If you out here laying down your enemy, nigga, say that shit with your motherfucking chest. The fuck? It's the life you chose, man. You killing kids and shit, little 16-year-olds and shit. It's the life nigga chose for real.
So we'll need to come back for sentencing no earlier than 30 days. When would the parties wish to return? I have the week of August 25 or September 2 for sentencing to be set. The same week as Mr. Whitaker?
He drunk.
Are you all available to return the week of September 8th? Keep in mind, Monday would be a to be set date, and we would set the sentencing on a convenient day that week for all parties involved. Okay, and on the 8th, you all are free to appear via Zoom. That's just a scheduling date. That won't be the sentencing date. We'll pick a date on the 8th. All right, then we'll pass Mr. Robinson's case to September 8th for sentencing to be set.
Hey, that nigga looked at the camera like, what? Adios, dangerous, boy. Adios, dangerous. These little niggas out this bitch, dangerous, man. But you know the sad part? The cycle don't stop. Just gonna turn it up even more. The cycle don't stop. It's ready to get a little more turn.
Mr. Robinson's case to September 8th for sentencing to be set. All right, thank you.
Damn, K. He like, damn, K. When it Bibby murdered on him. And hey, look, he don't even want to go to the Bibby joint no more. I know he like, bro, just go ahead and cop out, bro. Just at that point, he just don't fight, nigga. You fight the Bibby murder, you gonna give yourself 2 life sentences. He might as well take the 1 life sentences and cop a plea to the second one, man. And like two murders and run concurrent with one. I don't know how that shit work, but bro.
The 8th. All right, then we'll pass Mr. Robinson's case to September. Won't be the sentencing date. We'll pick a date on the 8th. All right, then we'll pass.
You could see it in his face, gang. At the beginning, he was all happy and shit, like fixing his tie. But look at this.
Okay, and on the 8th, you all are free to appear via Zoom. That's just a scheduling date. That won't be the sentencing date. We'll pick a date on the 8th.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go. I know the dad and the other nigga about to get a beautiful time cut. Oh my God. Butter gonna get out next year, and dad and the daddy, because they already been in there for damn near 10. That's crazy, huh?
Then we'll pass Mr. Robinson's case to September 8th for sentencing to be set. All right, thank you. All right, everyone is excused and free to go. I'll wait for the jury to leave.
That's it. That's it. Just like that, man. Over with. Clean this trial up quick. 6 days. I can't believe they did it in 6 days, nigga. 7 days. Them niggas was found guilty in 7 days. God damn. Yee. They ain't had the type of money to fight it out in the long run though. They had to do that shit quick. Let's see if there's anything else before we close out YouTube. Nigga Cuff late as hell. Nigga Cuff late as hell. Nigga did day 1 2 days ago. That nigga late as hell. That's the only thing with Cuff shit. Cuff shit good as fuck, but he just be late with his shit. Like say if the trial, like say if day 1, like say if he was on it. If when he do day 1, he gonna drop day 1 2 days later, or a day later. It's never the same day. But niggas like Flock and Sadie Nash, nigga, they taking a like say if the trial going to lunch break, nigga, they gonna come with a straight recap of the first half, and it's gonna be a full edited video. Same day, like how you thinking, like what the fuck? I snuck that camera in there, but niggas was sleeping on this jump, man. That's a good one. Look at the opening statement was crazy. Look.
Still looking for a new job?
I just found out my dad's sister's husband is golfing buddies with the CEO of a great company. So basically...
Hey, please the court? Yes. Opposing counsel? Members of the jury. Good afternoon.
She thought she was about to cut. Ain't nobody got no looking for like some regular people. Well, that's it for that, man. This is quick. You already know them boys is found guilty. I really do hope y'all enjoy this trial. This is quick. I thought we was gonna be on this a little longer, but god damn, it was quick. But I don't know when the Bibby shit start. I'm gonna find out. But whenever it start, we own it. I don't think it's starting no time soon, cause September, you got September. They gotta finish this case off, and they come back in September. So Bibby case probably don't start to like October, I think. I thought they was gonna do it back to back, but that's cool, man. I really do hope y'all enjoy this, man. Hope y'all go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think about the whole overall case, man. Y'all stay blessed. That shit at. Oh, I can't find it. Wow. Wow. That look terrible. What happened to my thing? Stop.